Hello, beautiful damsels. The unexamined life is not worth living, Socrates once said. And while he wasn't talking specifically about the quirks of Sigma females, he might as well have been. Ever wondered why Sigma females seem to live in their own unique reality? One that's both fascinating and bewildering. Get ready to dive into the strange, sometimes perplexing world where these extraordinary women navigate life with a set of phenomena that seem almost too wild to be true. From having a sixth sense for spotting trends to managing an inner critic that's more relentless than a caffeinated hamster on a wheel, Sigma females have their own special way of making everyday life feel like an adventure novel. So stick around. This is one journey through the Sigma experience you'll want to see to believe. At number 1, the unsettling gaze, human magnets. Sigma females often find themselves in the odd position of being the center of attention without even trying. It's not that they're seeking the spotlight or doing anything particularly outrageous. It's just that people seem to have a magnetic fascination with them. It's like they have an invisible "watch me" sign floating above their heads that attracts curious gazes and occasional stares. This phenomenon can be a bit surreal. They might walk into a room and instantly sense that they're being watched, not because they're making a grand entrance, but because their presence seems to command attention. It's as if they radiate a certain energy or confidence that draws eyes, even if they're just quietly observing or minding their own business. It's a bit like being the quiet kid in class who somehow gets picked for every solo role in the school play. Humor comes into play with the odd situations that arise from this unintentional spotlight. Sigma females might joke about having their own personal paparazzi, or pretend they're being scouted for a reality TV show. They could laugh about how their every move seems to be under a microscope, even when they're just trying to get a coffee or walk their dog. They might even give a theatrical wave to imaginary cameras or make exaggerated bowing gestures when they catch someone looking. The constant attention can be both flattering and slightly irritating. On the one hand, it's nice to know people notice and appreciate their presence. On the other hand, it can feel intrusive or uncomfortable, especially when they just want to blend into the background. They might find themselves becoming the subject of unsolicited advice or random conversations from people who seem to think they're an open book just because they're observing. This heightened attention often means that Sigma females become accustomed to having their actions scrutinized or their decisions questioned. They can develop a keen sense of self-awareness, always mindful of how their behavior might be perceived. It's not that they're obsessed with what others think. It's more that they're acutely aware of how their unique presence can affect those around them. Despite the occasional awkwardness, Sigma females handle this attention with a blend of grace and humor. They understand that their presence naturally draws eyes, so they might as well make the most of it. They might use the attention to their advantage, leveraging their magnetic quality to make connections or advance their goals. They've learned to navigate this spotlight with a mix of confidence and wit, knowing that it's just part of the package of being who they are. In the end, while the uninvited attention might seem peculiar, it's a testament to the unique energy and presence that Sigma females bring to the table. They embrace their role as the center of curiosity, knowing that their ability to captivate without effort is just one of the many extraordinary traits that make them stand out in the crowd. Number 2, solipsism, the reality distortion field. Sigma females often experience a peculiar mental state known as solipsism, where their inner world feels like the only reality worth focusing on. It's not that they're self-centered, although it might seem that way at times, but rather, they're deeply immersed in their own thoughts and perspectives. Picture it as having your own personal movie screen that plays the feature film of your life on an endless loop, while everyone else is just an extra in the background. They can be intensely engaged in their inner dialogue, so much so that the outer world sometimes feels like a distant background noise. This solipsistic experience means they often have a profound sense of their own reality. It's not that they ignore other people's realities, but their own thoughts and feelings are so vivid that they can sometimes overshadow everything else. It's like having an internal spotlight that shines so brightly on their own experiences that they might miss the subtle cues from the world around them. They're in their own little bubble, and that bubble is filled with their unique perspectives, insights, and passions. The humor here comes from the quirks of living with such a mindset. Sigma females might joke about being the star of their own soap opera or compare their life to a one-woman Broadway show. They might laugh about how they have an entire internal dialogue going on that nobody else can hear, or how they're constantly the main character in their personal drama. It's not that they're out of touch with reality. It's just that their version of reality is so vivid and immersive that it sometimes overshadows the rest of the world. This solipsistic approach can also lead to some awkward social moments. They might come off as introspective or aloof because they're so wrapped up in their own thought processes. It's not that they're uninterested in others, it's just that their mental narrative is so consuming that it's easy to lose track of what's happening around them. They might find themselves in conversations where they're nodding along, but not fully engaged because their mind is preoccupied with their own inner movie. Despite the occasional social misstep, this solipsistic trait can be incredibly empowering. It allows Sigma females to stay focused on their goals and passions with a level of dedication that's hard to match. They can block out the distractions and criticisms that might derail others, staying true to their path and purpose. They're in tune with their own reality to such a degree that they can harness it to drive their personal and professional achievements. In the end, while solipsism might make Sigma females seem like they're living in their own world, it's this very trait that contributes to their strength and individuality. They embrace their rich inner lives, knowing that it's what fuels their creativity, resilience, and unique outlook on life. So next time you see a Sigma female deep in thought, just remember, they're not ignoring the world. They're simply starring in their own epic saga, and it's a show worth watching. Number 3. Unshakable conviction, a blessing and a curse. Sigma females are known for their unwavering sense of conviction, which is a bit like having an internal compass that always points north, no matter what. When they believe in something, whether it's a principle, an idea, or a course of action, it's as if their entire being aligns with that conviction. It's not just a passing thought or a casual opinion, it's a deeply held truth that shapes their decisions and actions. This intense sense of conviction can be incredibly empowering. It's like having a built-in GPS that guides them through life's uncertainties. They don't just waver or second-guess themselves. They're resolute, often to the point where it's almost comical. They might stick to their guns about something as seemingly trivial as the best way to brew coffee, or as profound as their philosophy on life, with the same unyielding passion. Humor often finds its way into their steadfastness. Sigma females might joke about being stubborn or having a no-back-down policy. They might laugh about how their friends know better than to argue with them about their favorite TV show or political stance, because once they've made up their mind, there's no room for negotiation. It's like having an internal lawyer who presents the case for their beliefs with all the fervor of a courtroom drama. This conviction can sometimes be misunderstood by others. To some, it might seem like they're being overly rigid or inflexible. But in reality, it's just that their sense of purpose and certainty is so strong that it's almost palpable. They're not just sticking to their beliefs out of stubbornness, they genuinely feel that they've found the truth or the right path. And that's something they're not willing to compromise on. The downside is that this unwavering conviction can sometimes isolate them. When they're passionately committed to something, it can be difficult for others to keep up or even understand. Friends and colleagues might find themselves on the receiving end of enthusiastic rants about the latest cause or idea, feeling a bit overwhelmed by the intensity. It's like being swept up in a tornado of passion that leaves little room for dissent or debate. Despite this, Sigma females are comfortable with their strong sense of conviction. They know it's a big part of what makes them who they are. They relish in the ability to stand firm and make decisions with confidence, even if it means occasionally being seen as a bit of a zealot. They understand that their passion and dedication are what drive them to achieve great things and make a significant impact on the world around them. In the end, their unwavering conviction is both a strength and a defining feature. It's what keeps them moving forward, pushing boundaries and sticking to their principles. And while it might lead to a few humorous clashes or misunderstandings, it's also what gives them the courage to follow their path with unshakable confidence. Number 4, the relentless inner critic, the double-edged sword. Sigma females often grapple with a relentless inner critic that seems to have no off switch. It's like having a nagging voice in the back of their minds that's always ready to chime in with, "Are you sure you're doing this right?" Or, "This could go horribly wrong." It's not that they're insecure, it's just that their internal critic has a knack for showing up uninvited, ready to critique every decision, idea, and action. This harsh self-assessment can lead to a mix of self-imposed pressure and comical scenarios. For instance, they might find themselves doubting their choice of breakfast cereal or obsessing over whether their response to a text message was adequately witty. It's as if their inner critic is the world's most demanding editor, scrutinizing every aspect of their life with a red pen and a magnifying glass. Humor often comes into play when Sigma females discuss their inner critic. They might joke about having a full-time job as their own personal critic, complete with a salary they're not sure they want to accept. They could laugh about how their inner critic is so overzealous that it could put even the most detail-oriented project manager to shame. There's also the playful exaggeration of their inner critic being an overbearing parent or an old-school teacher who still hands out gold stars, but only when they've met impossibly high standards. Despite the constant barrage of self-criticism, this harsh, inner voice is not entirely without its benefits. It pushes Sigma females to strive for excellence and continually improve. It's like having a built-in accountability partner that ensures they're always on their toes. While it might be relentless, it also helps them maintain high standards and achieve great results. They're driven by this inner critic to refine their skills and elevate their performance, even if it means enduring a constant stream of self-doubt. The challenge, however, is managing this relentless critic without letting it derail their confidence. Sigma females have to learn how to balance their drive for perfection with a healthy dose of self-compassion. They might have to remind themselves that it's okay to make mistakes and that not every decision has to be flawless. They understand that their inner critic is just one part of their complex inner world. And while it might be a loud and persistent voice, it doesn't have to be the only voice that guides them. In the end, while the harsh inner critic can be a tough companion, it's also a testament to the Sigma female's dedication and drive. They handle its relentless scrutiny with a mix of resilience and humor, knowing that it's both a challenge and a catalyst for their personal growth. Their ability to navigate this inner dialogue with grace and humor speaks to their strength and commitment to self-improvement. Number 5. Trendsetters in solitude, the lonely visionaries. Sigma females often have this uncanny knack for picking up on trends and insights long before they become mainstream. It's almost like they have a crystal ball for spotting the next big thing, except instead of magic, it's a sharp sense of observation and intuition. While others are still catching up with the latest fads or discovering new trends, Sigma females are already a step ahead, practically predicting what's about to hit the cultural zeitgeist. This talent can be both impressive and a bit amusing. They might be the first to champion a new band or embrace an obscure fashion trend long before it's cool. It's not that they're trying to be ahead of the curve, it's more like they have an instinctual sense for what's on the horizon. Friends and acquaintances might be baffled by their early adoption of trends, often catching them in the act of being way too early to the party. They might find themselves having to explain their passion for something that hasn't quite taken off yet, like being really into a TV show that only has a cult following. Humor plays a role in their trend-spotting adventures. Sigma females might joke about having a personal trend radar or a future-seeing superpower. They could laugh about how they're basically trendsetters without even trying, or how they have a secret stash of "I told you so" moments for when the rest of the world finally catches up. They might share stories of how they were way ahead of the curve on something that eventually went viral, turning their early enthusiasm into a funny anecdote. The downside of this forward-thinking ability is that it can sometimes make Sigma females feel out of sync with those around them. They might be excited about a trend or idea that others are slow to understand, leading to puzzled looks or dismissive comments. It's like being on a different wavelength from the rest of the world, where they're tuned into a station that hasn't quite reached the mainstream yet. This can make them feel like the proverbial lone wolf, leading the way while others are still getting their bearings. Despite this occasional feeling of disconnect, Sigma females embrace their trend-spotting skills with confidence. They understand that their ability to see beyond the present is a valuable asset. It allows them to be pioneers in their own right, often paving the way for new ideas and innovations. They take pride in their knack for discovering what's next, even if it means they're sometimes a bit ahead of their time. In the end, their ability to pick up on trends before they become popular is a testament to their unique perspective and intuition. It's both a gift and a source of humor as they navigate a world that's often just catching up to their foresight. They continue to embrace their role as trendsetters with a mix of pride and playful amusement, knowing that their early insights are what make them truly exceptional. And there you have it. An inside look into the fascinating, often perplexing world of Sigma females. We've explored their knack for spotting trends before anyone else, the intense scrutiny of their inner critic, and the dramatic flair of their emotional breakdowns, among other intriguing phenomena. These unique traits not only set them apart, but also make their journey through life an extraordinary adventure. If you enjoyed this deep dive and want more insights into the enigmatic world of Sigma females, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Your support helps us bring more captivating content your way. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more explorations into the extraordinary. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for your support, damsels. See you in the next vid. Bye and stay blessed.